Hey friends, welcome back to Food Prep Guide. Today we're back with another mix in a jar, and today we're making cheddar cheese crackers. This is a copycat recipe of a popular brand that I won't name for trademark reasons, but we can make them ourselves at home where we can control exactly what goes in them. And when we make them mix in a jar style, they become a lot quicker and easier to make by just adding a few liquid ingredients. So to start, we are going to make our mix, and we need 2 cups of flour. Anytime that I mention flour on this channel, I am talking about all-purpose flour because that is the only type of flour that we buy in stock in our household. I've never tried bread flour. You can certainly try that, but all-purpose is all that we use. So next is going to be a cheese powder. I stuck with white cheddar powder. We need 1 cup. You can absolutely use yellow cheddar cheese powder. You're probably going to get that deeper orange color, a lot more similar to the store. But at the time of filming this video, I did not know that there was a brand that had no artificial colors for the orange in it. Hoosier Hill is my go-to brand for all of my cheese powders. They have a premium yellow cheddar cheese powder, and it does not have artificial colors, but their regular one does. So I wanted to point that out real quick. Okay, after that is just a few seasonings. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of salt. We love Redmond's real salt around here. Next ingredient is garlic powder, and we need half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And to that, we will add half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. The smoked flavor adds just a good flavor to this cracker, but you could certainly use regular paprika if you like. And last but not least, we need mustard powder or ground mustard, same thing, and it is just a 1/4 teaspoon of that. And that's it. Every ingredient in this jar is shelf stable, so you can absolutely vacuum seal it and last for years, really. But even without vacuum sealing, this will easily last on your shelf for about 6 months. We'll make those crackers in just a minute, but real quick, I wanted to let you know that this recipe and many more is inside of our Mix and Jars Volume 2 cookbook, where Volume 1 focused on pantry staples, Volume 2 focuses on meals. They have one-pot meals, side dishes, things that go into making meals quicker throughout the week when you're just busy and don't have a lot of time to spend. Most of the recipes you just have to add a few fresh ingredients to after you meal prep your jars. The link for both of those cookbooks will be down in the description box below, or you can comment crackers and I'll send you the link directly as a reply to the comment. To make these crackers, we need a half a cup of cold butter, and it is important that the butter is cold and hard for this recipe. And then go ahead and add in your mix in a jar style. You'll want to cut up that butter into kind of cubes like I have here, just so it doesn't bog down your food processor so bad. And I do highly recommend a food processor. It just makes this recipe go together so easy. Same thing with like pie crust. Anytime you're working with cold butter into forming some kind of cracker or a pastry, a food processor is so nice. We're just going to pulse it a few times until you have a product that resembles coarse sand. Now, it gets a little tricky here, but we're going to do half a cup of water, but divided into 1/4 and 1/4. So I have a 1/4 cup right here, and I am slowly trickling in the water. What we want to do is add the water so slowly so that we can watch and see what the dough does. The end goal is for the dough to automatically clump up into a dough ball inside of that food processor. And sometimes it doesn't take all of the final 1/4 cup of water. So I did a 1/4 cup here. I see it's still, far from being done. So I paused it, got a spatula, scraped the sides down just to help keep things nice and even. And then we're going to go back through with a 1/4 cup of water and just very, very slowly trickle it in. And as you will see in just a minute, as I was pouring in that 1/4 cup, the dough ball started forming, and that's when I stopped pouring. So as soon as you see a ball start clumping together, you want to stop pouring, let the food processor run, see what it's going to do, and as soon as it starts clumping up into a ball, you want to stop. And here's what that looks like. As you can see, it's not all put together, but you can easily put that all together with your hands later. This is what I mean when I say dough ball. So we want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And the next step is to get 2 pieces of parchment paper. There's probably a better way to do this, but I have found that sandwiching the dough in between 2 pieces of parchment paper seems like the easiest way to go about it, where your rolling pin won't just totally rip up the dough. So basically, you don't have to knead it. You just need to get all the bits and pieces together just enough to where all of it's holding together into a little ball, and then smush it down with your hand until it's like a disc, and then add that other piece of parchment paper on top. Grab your rolling pin and start smoothing it out. Now you will see at the end of this video that some of my crackers burned, and number one, I went a little bit too long on the time, but also I had an uneven roll here. So rolling out your crackers is so important to get it all the same thickness, which is kind of difficult to do. I'm terrible at it, but you can see how the center is thicker and the sides are thinner. That's what happens, or that's how you get some burnt crackers in a batch. So just try to roll them out as evenly as possible. But once it is rolled out, you just want to take a pizza cutter, a dough cutter works good too, even just like a butter knife or a knife, and just start cutting some grid lines. Some up and down, and then you'll turn it and do some sideways so that you can create little squares. That's all we're doing here. We're just creating squares. So however you want to do that, I just find that a pizza cutter works great for this. Once it's all nice and rolled out, you want to get some sort of something to poke holes. This is a chopstick. You can use, let's see, what other else can you use? I can't think of anything else right now. A chopstick works really good, but anything else you can think of to poke little holes. And that's going to help the cracker not puff up in the middle during the baking process. And then you just want to lift the crackers onto a parchment-lined baking sheet. You can use the same piece of paper that you did rolling out your dough. I have tried lifting up all of the parchment paper and just putting it on a baking pan that way, but the edges don't get nice and crisp. So you want to put them in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. I did 13 minutes, and as you can see, I had some burnt crackers. I should have gone probably 11 to 12 minutes, and like I said, it was all about the unevenness of the cracker. But you want to bake it for in between 12 to 15 minutes. You know your oven best if it tends to cook a little on the low side or cook a little on the hotter side. Just play around with the time there, somewhere between 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, friends, my kiddos will love these crackers. I hope yours do too, and I hope you enjoy it if you decide to try it. Bye.